All right. After Brazil, let's start with Brazil's arch rivals and Rohit's favorite team, Argentina.
Let me throw up. Let me just throw up and go.
Yeah, but Argentina are world champions. They won the last World Cup in 2022 in Qatar. Uh, they also won the Copa America in 2021 and 2024. So they basically did what Spain did between 2008 to 2020, 2008 to 2012, winning three competitions back to back. In the qualifying round, they were first. A team behind them was Ecuador, who finished 9 points behind them.
Hmm.
And do you want to guess who the top scorer in the qualifying rounds was, Rohit?
No, not really. I have no interest in guessing anything.
Of course, it was Lionel Messi. And I'll give you a crazy stat about them. Huh? They became the first ever team to beat Brazil in Brazil during qualifying rounds.
Oh,
Brazil
I did
had
not know.
Brazil had an unbeaten run of 70 years before that in qualifying
I
rounds
did
in
not know
Brazil.
that.
That's quite amazing, right?
No, I think with Argentina, I think when you sort of started talking about Argentina, I think you do see that not for the first time. I shouldn't put it like that, but I see strength in their starting 11 and depth in the squad both. Like I would say that even when they won the World Cup last time, I wouldn't say that they had a lot of great options coming off the bench, right? So I wouldn't say that they had great like really quality players who were coming off the bench and able to create that impact. But some of the younger players who've now sort of taken that step up, like who've really like the likes of Giuliano Simeone and Nico Paz and all these guys who've taken that step up, they're very good.
Yep.
If you were to talk about midfield, you have the likes of Molina, and not well, Molina's a defender, but sorry, if you talk about midfield, you look at the likes of Valentin Barco and they've
Yeah.
even the Atletico guy, Thiago Almada.
Diego
They
Alonso.
have really taken that step up. So now you have like, oh wow, these are I mean they're it's not France. They
Yeah.
don't have that kind of depth, but they have a really, really, really good squad.
Yeah, I mean, and see what happens with Argentine players is even if they're having a bad season for their clubs, they step up for their country, man. I
Yeah.
mean, I was talking to our friend Advait and I was asking him about Thiago Almada and Nicolas Gonzalez. And he said that they were average for Atletico Madrid. And so was
Hmm.
Rodrigo de Paul during last World Cup. He was average for
Hmm.
Atletico, but for Argentina, he stepped up big time.
Great.
Yeah. So yeah, but they are in Group J along with Algeria. Algeria playing their first World Cup since 2014. Austria. Their manager is a man called Ralph Rangnick.
Right, right.
I don't know if you remember him, but he managed
Of
Manchester
course.
United for
Of
about
course.
6 months, Rohit, and Jordan, who are playing their first World Cup.
Hmm.
So yeah, Rohit, do you want to take us through their
Of
squad?
course. See, there are a whole bunch of players in this squad that I have no interest in talking about, and I will start with one of those players in right at the back. So, they have a goalkeeper called Emiliano Martinez. Let's move on. Going on to the outfield players. No, but yeah, for the goalkeepers, I think again Martinez he picks himself as annoying and as much of a like a villain that he is and that he portrays to be. He's very solid. He is a very solid goalkeeper, a great shot stopper. Um Distribution and all of that is he's average, which is why he's playing for Villa. But I had to put I had to hate him a little bit. But I think he picks himself, to be honest with you. He's a very good option for a team like Argentina, and he also adds a bit of character and sort of leadership
Yeah,
because
he's such a huge personality, right? I
he's a
mean,
huge personality. Yeah, he's a
say
big
say
character. He's a big
say
character.
whatever you want about him. It's okay to think. See, I'm not going to say that he's a sort of, but he's not on the same level with say Casillas or Neuer or the likes.
Right.
But he's such a huge personality.
He is.
Just, I mean, just imagine making that save in last final.
Colomani. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No, he's big and he pretty much picks himself. So
Yeah.
the other two goalkeepers are most definitely just going to be there carrying his bags or whatever. But No, I think yeah. I mean, you have someone like a Martinez. He picks himself. That's all
Yeah.
I'll say. What are your thoughts on their goalkeeping situation?
So I think again, Martinez, uh, huge personality, and they have two other goalkeepers in Ruli and Juan Musso. So Juan Musso played for Atletico. He's not their number one. It's Yano Black, and he played I think in four Champions League games, and he did a decent job. So I think they are good backups to have. Of course, without being great, it's not like you have Ellison and Edison for
Hmm.
Brazil, but yeah, I think decent backups to have.
For sure, for sure. Okay. We can then take a step up and move into defense. Again, pretty solid and pretty unmoved, right? From the last World Cup. If you look at the Argentinian defense, you have the likes of like if I look at let's start with the center halves. You have Christian Romero, who's had a nightmare season, to be to be perfectly honest.
Yeah,
You have Licha Martinez, who made a very good comeback, I thought, for United
yeah,
last season.
of course.
Very like he came in, he's not missed a step. So I thought he's been excellent. You then have the likes. I'm just talking about centre halves. You have Nicolas Otamendi, who I think is playing in his 15th World Cup or I don't know what. That guy is always around. And I'm also like interested in a lot of the other defenders. You look at Tagliafico, who's again, he's been brilliant. He's 33 now.
Yeah,
He's been good. You have Nahuel Molina,
yeah,
who has had I thought he's had a great campaign
yeah,
last year.
yeah.
You have Gonzalo Montiel, if you remember the guy who scored a penalty
Of
for
course, of course.
Sevilla, and yeah, you have Montiel. You
Did you just say Sevilla instead of saying Argentina?
I think he scored for both. Remember, he scored for Serbia. I'm not going to talk about Argentina. I'm not. I'm not there. But yeah,
Unconsciously, you did that.
of course, of course. So I think they've. I think they've. It's pretty good. So I think in my. I don't know. This is again. I think Molina and Tagliafico started fullback with Romero and maybe Otamendi or Lisandro Martinez for centre half. What do you think?
See, I'm a bit worried about I'm a bit worried for their defense in the sense, if you recall, they in crucial situations last in during the last World Cup, they conceded a lot of goals. In the
Hmm.
World Cup final, they were 2-0 up, then they conceded two in
Right,
last.
right, right.
Same happened against Netherlands. Same happened against Australia in the round of 16 game. Now,
Hmm.
a lot of their defenders are pretty old.
Old.
Yeah. So, I mean, you have Otamendi who is 38. I'm not saying he's a bad defender, but
But he
as
is
you
old.
rightly said, he is old. Now, the problem is Romero has had a terrible season.
Yeah.
Licha, as much as we love him, but he's injury prone, and he made a solid comeback. But again, there is nothing has changed. It's almost as if they have not found new
Yeah.
blood for their defense. The
Hmm.
only two new defenders they have is your Leonardo Balerdi and Facunda Medina.
Hmm.
Both play at Marseille, but they have 11 and 7 caps respectively for Argentina. So I am not really sure about their defense. In the sense, Molina is 28, Gonzalo Montiel is 29, yeah, Romero and Lisandro Martinez are of that same age.
That's the thing, right?
Tagliafico,
I mean,
yeah,
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Just that the youngest defender is 27.
yeah, that's right.
The
That's right.
youngest defender is 27. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, even Tagliafico he's at Lyon, but he's 33.
Hmm.
So I think that defense could be could be of concern to Argentina.
Fair point.
Could be a
Fair
point of
point. But
concern. Yeah,
could be, and especially I think as the tournament progresses, and considering that most of their players play at a really high level, right? It's not like you have like all of the name that you said, like all of them or majority of them are playing in Europe, and they've had
yeah,
long seasons.
yeah, yeah,
Then they're coming into a World Cup, which is in rather unforgiving circumstances in terms of the weather.
yeah,
And all of that's like we tend to like we can't look at the World Cup as a standalone tournament. It's coming at the back of a lot of these players having very rough campaigns.
yeah, yeah,
So to come into the World Cup in those conditions, fatigue and all of that are really going to play a huge, huge part, I think.
yeah, yeah. True. And and this time, your group stages are a bit forgiving, even if you don't, if
Hmm.
you can lose two games and still qualify for the
Still
next round.
qualify.
But what is the probability of you sort of riding on your luck for 8 weeks or for eight
Hmm.
games?
Hmm.
So I'm not really sure about Argentina's defense, to be very honest.
That's a fair thought, but I think what they have in stability, they lack in energy. I
Yeah.
think that's a fair point to make.
Fair point. Fair point. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much. Anything else you want to add on the defense?
No, I think that's about it. That should be good.
Midfield again, I think they're pretty good. Again, I think it's a settled midfield. It's a midfield that we've seen about a million times over the past few years. So the likes of Enzo Fernandez and Alexis McAllister, they sort of pick themselves in the center of the park. And to add to that, you have some good options in the like you have. I think those two guys are. I think they're going to play. I think they're going to start every game, and then you have the likes of Rodrigo de Paul, who'll play in that midfield. You'll have the Atletico guy Almada who could play. You have you have Leandro Paredes. He's
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
he's still around. You have the youngster Valentin Barco, who's probably gonna do probably have
He
a
is very
role to
highly
play.
rated, by the way. He can play several roles. Sort of. I think
Strasbourg,
he's.
right? He's at Strasbourg. He's
Yeah,
at
he's a Strasbourg. Yeah,
Chelsea.
that's right. That's right. Yeah.
And there's another. So do you remember Giovanni Lo Celso? He's
Yeah, of course.
he's
Yeah.
still he's around. I think he's at Betis now, so he's there. So again, I think they have two very good starters in Alexis and Enzo Fernandez. The Liverpool and Chelsea connection. They both have had decent seasons. Not Alexis, no, maybe not so much, but I thought Enzo had a very good season for Chelsea. He was one of the slightly better players in that largely horrible squad that they had. But what are your thoughts on their midfield? I think it's good, solid,
See,
functional.
what I feel is, I mean, again, we are just two morons on the internet.
Yeah, of
But
course.
the mistake that Spain did during 2014 World Cup, are Argentina making the same mistake again? So, for example, Spain did not refresh their squad rate. You
Hmm.
had the same players who played in 2010 at 2010 World Cup. They had same players in 2014 World Cup, and
Right.
Argentina is doing the same. And now, of course, back in 2022, Enzo was new. He was sort of those promising
The
youngsters
big,
of the
yeah.
tournament. One of probably the best youngsters of the tournament. So he
Hmm.
was that. But now he has had again. I'm a huge Enzo fan. I think he's the most complete midfielder in the Premier League. He's fantastic. He can play as number
Yeah.
10. He can play in deep positions. So I'm a huge fan of him. But if you have someone like Rodrigo De Paul, he's playing in along with Lionel Messi in
Inter
Inter.
Miami or
Inter
whatever.
Miami. So he's playing in sort of low intensity.
Hmm.
Uh, Alexis McAllister, he has had an okay season. You
Okay,
have
season.
I think you have Lo Celso. He's 30. Same with Palacios. He's playing at Leverkusen, and you have Valentin Barco. So again, it's a good midfield, but I always have that in my mind. And of course,
Hmm.
as both of us know, as Alex Ferguson always used to say, that any team has an expiry period of 4 years.
Yeah.
After 4 years, you need to change your place. So
Hmm.
I am not really sure if that's again. It's a decent team on paper, but I don't know what's going to happen when they actually take the pitch.
And going back to my original thing, even if I look at the midfield, they have one player under the age of 25. One. Valentin
Yeah,
Barco.
Valentin Barco.
And that's it. Everyone else. So you got Paredes, Rodrigo de Paul, Lascelles, all these guys are over 30, and everyone else is in the late 20s.
Yeah.
And if you look at, I mean, we'll get to the forward line soon, but I think that's a theme with this squad. Yeah, because I go back to that Spain example that you took, and it's like you decide to not take Mastantuano, and fair, he had a drop off in the second half of the season with Madrid, but there's no youth in that squad.
Yeah.
Like where's like if you want somebody to come up off the bench and make an impact, you do look at your younger players to add that bit of energy, right? You need experience, sure,
Yeah.
but you also need that bit of energy to kind of take that squad to the next level. I don't see that in Argentina this time.
Yeah, I see. Two players who can play either up front or in the midfield are Giuliano Simeone. I'm a huge Giuliano
Yeah,
Simeone
he's
fan. He
he's he's a,
epit
he's as Simeone as a Simeone can get.
exactly. I couldn't have put myself better. He is a proper Simeone, right? And you have someone like Thiago Almada who played. I think during qualifiers, and he played recently in I think in April. So
Hmm.
Scaloni uses him either in the midfield or up front,
Or up
or
front.
as an attacking player. But as we said earlier, a lot of these players have not had a great season at their club, for their clubs.
Hmm.
But again, when they play for Argentina, they could be a different animal. Or see, winning World Cup two times in a row is extremely difficult. There is a reason it hasn't happened since 1962. So I'm
Hmm.
not expecting Argentina to win the World Cup, but I hope they go deep, because I always want all your top teams in your quarterfinals and semifinals. You don't
But
want
yeah.
I go see good to Morocco, good to Croatia. I'm happy for them, but I would rather see a clash between Brazil and Argentina in the semifinal than Argentina against Croatia.
Or maybe an Argentina Netherlands rematch. That'll quite literally be a rematch. That'll be a boxing match for the ages.
See, what I want is a match between Argentina and Portugal. So it will be a clash between two most annoying fan bases
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
on the internet. I hope they kill
That'll
each
not
other.
even be. Nobody's going to watch the match. They're going to focus on two people, and that's it. That is the
That's it.
only thing that'll happen. I
Yeah.
honestly, for the sake of football, I don't. I hope that doesn't happen,
Yeah, of course, of course. I hope
because the
that doesn't
focus
happen.
completely goes away, and it goes into a
Yeah,
whose thing is bigger than whose. It goes into that, which we don't want to see in the World Cup. Hey,
yeah,
but
fair
going
enough.
back to you, I do have a piece of trivia for you.
Yeah,
So you spoke about winning the World Cup twice. Forget about the team, but Lionel Scaloni quite possibly, if he wins it this time, I mean he won't, but if he does win it this time, he'll be the second manager to win the World Cup twice. Can you tell me who was the first one?
Mario Zagallo was the manager in 1970, but I don't think he was player in 1962, right?
It's not Zagallo.
Yeah, but the Brazil manager from 58 and 62.
No.
No,
You have
let me
to
think.
go
Let me
even
think.
further back in time.
Oh, 1954. It was Germany. Could be 1930s ka Italian manager.
Yes. Vittorio Pozzo.
Oh,
Italy 1934, Italy 1938.
oh, nice, nice, nice.
So yeah.
I mean, we need a lot of such trivia during the World Cup, because we are going to
Yeah,
have
yeah, that's
loads and loads of watch-alongs and
loads
live
of
streams.
trade.
Yeah,
But at least we have a lot more to get from, man. When you're doing a
yeah,
United something game, there's only so many pieces of trivia we can find
true,
about United after a point of time.
true, true, true.
But to round
Yeah,
off the Argentinian squad, going back to talking about their attack, of course, Messi will start. Of course, we know Julian Alvarez and you have your Lautaro Martinez's of the world who will start. But to your point, I mean, we know Messi is going to start. He's right now in the same boat as Cristiano.
yeah,
Honestly, neither of them should be starting for their teams. I know Messi has scored a bunch of goals and all that, but he has now played 2 seasons at Inter Miami
mm,
at a significantly, lesser pace in a league that gives him the whistle. Every somebody touches him, he goes over. He's not going to get that in the World Cup.
yeah. So,
And to have,
yeah, sorry.
sorry, I was just going to say,
Mm,
Alvarez and Lautaro Martinez have had fantastic seasons. They've had a great 4 year span. Both of them are in their actual, like the proper prime. And you have the likes of sort of Giuliano Simeone, you have Nicolas Gonzalez, who have had decent seasons or doing well. Then you have the
Nico
likes of Nico
Paz.
Paz
Yeah,
from Como,
yeah.
who has been a breakout star. So I think we're going to see something that we saw with Portugal all this time when you have a lot of good attacking talent, but they have to be on the bench because all the focus is going to be on one guy. So I don't know how they're going to find that balance because I see Messi playing down the middle in that false 9, 10 kind of role, and maybe Martinez and what's the other guy's name? Julian Alvarez sort
Julian
of playing
Alves.
those roles. So
Yeah,
I don't know how they're going to manage that balance because Messi is going to be 39 in the World Cup.
yeah, yeah. He will be 39 during their game against Jordan
Right,
on the same
right.
date. On the same date.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. I don't know
Uh,
what you think.
See, Messi now, even in 2022, Messi was good because he had runners around him. 4 years
Hmm.
after that, after 2022, he's going to need more running around him.
More. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Unless until he has that, I don't think he is going to be. So he will not be effective in the Argentina team unless he has people who are running around him.
Hmm.
See, in
Yeah.
my opinion, Argentina's main attacking player is Julian Alvarez. I mean,
Right.
that
Yeah,
guy
yeah,
is fantastic player, man. I mean, he
yeah.
again, your Enzo and Julian Alvarez were breakout stars during the last World Cup. I personally, I mean, I don't think it will happen, but I would love to see Argentina without Messi, Leo Messi. I'm
Hmm.
not saying that Paz will come into the team and he will be their star.
Right.
I'm not suggesting that, but I would like to see that at least against lesser teams. See, they are going to play against Algeria, Austria, and Jordan. Jordan are playing their first World Cup, so maybe against them when they're qualifying is their a round of or they have qualified for the next round. I would like to see a different team. And see, if there is one guy who can do that, that is Lionel Scaloni. If you look at remember their last World Cup against Saudi Arabia, they lost.
Hmm.
Lautaro Martinez started. They had a
Hmm.
completely they had who's that? They had Papu Gomez and
Hmm.
they had Paredes in the midfield.
Hmm.
As soon as they lost that game, Lionel Scaloni
Switched
started
over.
changing the game. He started
Hmm.
changing the game. Lisandro Martinez started the first game. He changed that. So he is someone who sort of adjusts, and it always helps when you are a manager with no ego, right? Just imagine Louis
Hmm.
Van Gaal
Yeah.
in this scenario.
No.
Van Gaal will
The
say you
first thing he
do
would
that.
have done is benched Messi.
Yeah. The first thing he would
The
have done is
first
bench
thing he
Messi.
would have.
He literally said that before the last in the last World Cup before that Argentina clash. By the way,
Hmm.
that Messi doesn't press, but that's the thing, right? You don't need Messi to press. You need others to do more running around him. But considering the World Cup is in the US, there will be. I mean, heat is a major concern.
Hmm.
Heat is a major concern, and the players are getting older. I don't think Messi will have that much running around him.
Hmm.
If they want to, I don't know, maybe go reach semifinals. Maybe Scaloni will have to find a different way of doing things.
And I think even going back to the formation, right? Like I don't think. I mean, it's not like I don't think, but I don't think we'll see a front three of Messi, Alvarez, Martinez.
Yeah, that's
I
not going to
don't
happen.
think that's going to be feasible. I think what we'll see is Messi play in that 10, 9.5, 10 role.
Yeah,
You'll have like someone like an Almada, a DePaul, Giuliano Simeone, one of like three or four out of those who are sort of flank him and to your point, do the running for him.
yeah,
And then you'll have Julian Alvarez who will probably start as their first choice number nine. Or maybe a Lautaro Martinez, I don't know. One of those two starts as a number nine. I think that's 4-2-3-1 is probably what they'll look to play, maybe. I don't know.
yeah. Maybe they will play that. Maybe they will play that role. By the way, their player that Flaco Lopez. Flaco is I think thin, and Jose Manuel Lopez. He has had a great season for Palmeiras. By the way,
Oh. Yeah, I don't think
I'm
we've
not
even
sure.
spoken about him.
Yeah, yeah. But you have a trivia about him, right, Ruth?
I do. So let me frame it correctly. Okay. So Lopez, so Flaco Lopez is Jose Manuel Lopez, who currently plays for Palmeiras.
Yeah.
So he's, I think, the first Brazil-based player to have been called up for an Argentina World Cup squad in the last 20 years. Could you tell me who the last two were?
Absolutely no idea. No idea.
And the clue lies in two, because you and I saw these players in the Premier League as a duo under very controversial circumstances.
Oh, so Tevez could be one of them.
Yeah, so who's the other?
Javier Mascherano.
That's right. So
Yeah,
Carlos
yeah.
Tevez and Javier Mascherano were at Corinthians when both of them were as Corinthians when they sort of made their way into the Brazil squad in '06. And it's happening for 20 years now. They've not had
Oh,
a
wow.
player who's been based in Brazil.
Oh, wow.
So yeah.
By the way, do you think they will miss Di Maria?
Oh, that's a good shout.
I mean,
Will they
do you,
miss Di Maria? Di Maria isn't that he's not the same Di Maria from 4 years ago. As good as he still
100%.
is.
100%.
I but again he brings that he's like that industrious player, right? Like he's one of those guys that sort of goes under the radar. I thought he had an excellent World Cup last time.
Oh my God. He was
He was so
amazing.
good.
He was amazing in that World Cup. And that's the thing with Di Maria, right? Di Maria always delivers on big occasions.
Mm,
Be it your Champions League, be it. See, and what I like about Di Maria is, see, Di Maria is a world class player,
of
but
course.
he was fine with playing in that sort of second fiddle behind
Midfield.
Ronaldo and
He
Messi.
played in the midfield three, remember?
Yeah, 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 yeah,
When he was at Real Madrid, Mourinho played
yeah,
him in actually on the left hand side of a midfield three, which
yeah,
was
yeah, yeah,
quite insane.
yeah, yeah. But he's fine with being the number two, despite
Yeah.
being such a good player.
Good
Number two
player,
to
yeah.
Ronaldo, number two to Messi. So I think Argentina will miss him. I think he retired after last Copa America, if I'm not mistaken. But
And 145 caps for Brazil, for Argentina, man. He was
yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
experienced, such a big.
Insane, insane,
And to
insane.
yeah, I think you make a great point in that for a player to be this big and to not have an ego or to
Yeah,
not have that focus around him is rare. Like we can't say that about Messi and Cristiano, right? Because
of course
there
not.
is
Yeah,
always a circus around them, and it's always like Messi said this, Ronaldo said this, Messi needs this, Ronaldo needs this. I don't. Di Maria, as he's been a brilliant servant for
yeah,
Argentina,
yeah.
brilliant.
I think the thing with
But
Messi and Ronaldo is you can't be that good if you don't have that ego, right?
yeah, that's fair.
You can't be that good. But despite being so good, you're fine with being sort of number two to these guys.
Yeah,
Nothing but respect. See,
that's no,
see,
I
I
agree.
feel really bad about Di Maria's time at Manchester United. Poor guy started so brilliantly. Then our favorite manager Louis Van Gaal. Oh my God, yeah. Oh my God.
But that's what happens when you see Louis Van Gaal. If you're a flair player who can't follow this dictator's instructions, you're out of the window. But
But
that's also why
how will
Wayne
how
Rooney
will he
loved Louis Van
play?
Gaal.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
why? That's why, because you know Wayne Rooney is a battering ram who'll tell him what the manager, and Louis Van Gaal will definitely tell you what he wants.
yeah, yeah, yeah. True,
Which is
true.
why, like I think Wayne Rooney said that he's probably the one manager at United who coached. Like
Yeah,
for he was not a coach.
he wasn't coach. Yeah, yeah,
Van Hal was a PT teacher who would go out and set the cones himself and do all of that. That's not going to
yeah,
work with a Di Maria.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's. I mean, I think to fall out with Raquelme and
Yeah,
Rivaldo and Di Maria. Oh my God! I mean, you need sort of
but
a
I'll tell you
special.
what, very interesting. That goes back to ego, right? The reason why Van Hal has won the Champions League and he's won the
Yeah,
like the La Liga and in Ajax and he came back with bloody AZ Alkmaar.
yeah,
It's again that ego.
yeah.
Like
Hundred
I'm Louis
percent.
Van Gaal. I'll tell you what to do. I don't give a shit who you are and what you want to do. The same thing with the likes of Mourinho and Guardiola. Fergie took 30 seconds to boot people like Keane and Beckham out of the squad. So
How
you need
ruthless
that
you need to
ego.
be, man. Yeah, yeah, yeah. How ruthless you need to be for that. Yeah,
Yeah, you have to be ruthless. If you're a nice guy, you get run over, right? Like look at David Moyes.
yeah,
David Moyes gave West Ham a Conference League title. West Ham.
yeah,
David Moyes has got Everton out of relegation obscurity and into mid-table security.
yeah.
But I won't be surprised if Everton tomorrow turn around and just say that, oh, thank you for your services. We'll now go and get the next bright shiny object, and then they can actually get relegated
True,
because
true.
David Moyes is a decent man.
Yeah,
He's a nice guy, and that's why sort of even he didn't last at United for that reason. Like he's a nice guy who's.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't know
That
how we
makes
went
sense.
into David Moyes, but
From Leo Messi to David Moyes.
David
That's
Moyes.
quite a stretch. All right. If there's nothing else, should we conclude this?
Absolutely. Started off with Brazil and Argentina. So many more squads to analyze.
Yeah, by the way, give me your prediction for Argentina.
I think, honestly, and I'm not being a hater, I don't have a lot of expectations given the way their squad is structured.
Yeah.
So, quarters for sure. For sure. Semis maybe, but I don't see them going past that.
See, uh, as I said, I always want big teams to go deep in tournaments. But I will not be surprised if they get knocked out early in the sense. See, try to think of what happened between Brazil and Croatia. Brazil started
Hmm.
so well in that game,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
all of a
yeah.
sudden, Croatia being
They
that
went done.
industrious team that they have always been, and there is a possibility. Again, heat is a main factor, but if any team that pulls that off, I don't know, man. As I said, I always suck at predictions. So I want
Yeah.
Argentina to go deep. I'm expecting to go to reach at least quarterfinal, like just like you. But
Yeah.
I will not be surprised if they get knocked out early.
Because not everybody, see, I mean, there's only going to be, let's be honest, there's only going to be one team that you and I are confidently at least predict that they'll get to the final, which is France.
Yeah,
Like, we can go through that squad. Everyone is 18-year-old and in their prime and scored 95 goals for their club side and all of that. No
yeah,
one else has that kind of a. Like, if you ask me today, yeah, I think France will get to the final. I will say that I'm pretty sure 4 years from now. But
true.
apart from that, every squad has a bit of a chink. And it's about how they manage that chink in their armor that they'll kind of, see if they go further or they stay behind.
Fair, fair. All right. With that, we have kicked off the World Cup season. So thank you so much, Rohit. And we'll do again. We'll connect again tomorrow, and we'll
Sure.
do Spain and France.
Yeah, Spain, France. We leave England when I'm in a
Oh,
slightly decent mood
oh,
because
oh! Right, right.
that is
We
going
are
to be an
supposed to do England.
entertaining one.
Yeah, we are
So we
supposed to
can
do
do
England.
whatever you want, man. We can do whichever you want.
All right, let's decide it later. So, but again, thank you so much, guys, for watching, and we'll see you soon. Bye.